So, if you guys have been following the broader, like, big popular content creator drama in the last few months, then you might have heard about DrDisrespect, a guy whose real name is, like, I think it's Guy... It's like Guy Fieri or something like that. His first name's Guy, I'm pretty sure. That's hard to forget. Guy Beam. He's a dude who plays, like, very heavily into a character for his streaming persona. Don't get me wrong, to an extent, every internet creator has sort of like a double personality for the internet. Not necessarily that they're a totally different person, but that when it comes to being on the camera, they've got to switch into entertainment mode. And so it's very common, like literally every content creator, if they're genuine, is at the very least playing an exaggerated version of themselves for the sake of entertaining an audience, because otherwise you'd just be like, yeah, guys, so we're going to talk about Kamala Harris today. I hope you guys are interested in that. We're going to be discussing some of her policies. So I brought up, like, it wouldn't be very entertaining, but, you know, you've got to really make sure that you're in a presentational vibe, right? DrDisrespect has always taken this several steps further, though. He plays a character, the character being DrDisrespect. A guy with a mullet, shades, a porn star mustache who wears all red-themed military garb and bases his entire character off of an 80s action hero and all of his aesthetics visually off of, like, I guess it would be, what's that aesthetic with, like, the neon and shit? I always forget the name of it. It's not an aesthetic I particularly care for, but it was pretty popular online a few years ago, especially. Like the neon, like, palm trees and vaporwave. Thank you. Yes. Very vaporwave aesthetic visually, you know? That's his whole brand. And he's built up a massive audience. Like, DrDisrespect is a huge content creator, and if you don't watch gaming content online, it makes sense that you might not have heard of him, but in that sphere, he is still, even after everything that's happened, a massive figure in that space. And he's a streamer who basically exclusively streams shooter games as well. And because of that, as the months in the months that led up to the big drama, he started to play into the general political beliefs of those that might watch a FPS streamer. And those were very conservative beliefs. And a group of other, who just so happened to be COD YouTubers and streamers, got together with him to support him in several transphobic rants and anti-gay and anti-DEI, anti-woke rants and stuff. People called him out. And in response, a bunch of other streamers like Courage GD or whatever, the guy that used to play with Ninja during the Fortnite days, and Nick Mercs, the dude who zooms in on his forehead, the forehead streamer, they came to back up DrDisrespect. Mind you, DrDisrespect, by this point, was already known to be just kind of a bad person. He famously, and it is literally a meme in his community, cheated on his wife, kind of remorselessly. Well, he did make a pretty tear-filled apology where he supposedly wasn't playing a character, and he was just Guy Beam apologizing. But even despite all of that, people, I guess, assume he's just an okay guy, and continued to watch him. And DrDisrespect at the end of the day knows that he has built an audience of people that don't really care if he's a bad person. They're always going to come back to watch DrDisrespect. And I hate to inform you that even after a recent, well, I should actually say this happened years ago. DrDisrespect was banned after signing a multi-million-dollar contract with Twitch, one that would have been very beneficial for the platform. Out of nowhere, for no reason seemingly, and with absolutely years going by with no comment on why, Twitch banned DrDisrespect. Not even DrDisrespect would tell us why he was banned. At one point, he pretended he didn't know. Eventually, it leaked that DrDisrespect was banned because internally, Twitch had found out that through the Twitch Whispers feature, he was messaging a minor. Now, it does seem to have been a girl who is underage. We don't know the age. Could be 17, could be 16, could be 14, could be 12. All we know is that it was a fan who is a minor. And there's speculation about a bunch of things about what the content was, but all we know is that there were sexual, inappropriate messages with a minor. And how do we know that, despite not seeing any of these messages? Well, DrDisrespect admitted this himself, then deleted it in the tweet, and then brought it back when people called him out for deleting it. He really tried to do one of those, like, I'm not sorry, stay triggered, liberal snowflake type responses to this at first. That was what his tweet response to all this was. And in doing so, he thought that biting the bullet and saying, yes, he did sexually message a minor, and these people are mad about it, you can't take me down. He thought that this would play off well, but the majority of people online were like, what the fuck? Here's the thing, though. You may be disappointed to find out that this played exactly as DrDisrespect wanted it to with his own audience, as he has returned, and with record viewership. Guy Beam, better known as DrDisrespect, returned to YouTube to angrily deny claims he sent explicit messages or images to a minor, saying he, quote, shouldn't even be banned from Twitch in a lengthy statement in which he called the messages banter and claimed that the user was over the legal age of consent. Beam was visibly agitated as he responded to the claims that he sent inappropriate messages via the platform's Whispers function, taking aim at the media who reported on the accusations and claiming that it was a coordinated campaign against him. Taking a page out of Trump's book there, huh? He also claimed that Cody Connors, the former Twitch employee who initially revealed the reasons behind Beam's ban on Twitch, wasn't even involved in the process in an expletive-laden rant in which he claimed the case was settled professionally. Quote, you know you don't know shit, and it was obvious from your tweet, Beam claimed. You didn't have any first-hand knowledge about my dispute with Twitch. You said I got banned from Twitch because I was sexting a minor through Whispers messages? Do you even know what the legal definition of sexting is? I do, and yeah, I use Twitch's Whispers, but I wasn't sexting anyone. Mind you, he is heavily relying on the fact that his own fans do not care if he admitted word for word that he had sexual messages through Twitch Whispers with a minor, then deleted it, and then put it back when people called him out for editing the tweet. His own fans do not give a shit that he has admitted to full guilt for what he did. You shouldn't have to pull the legal definitions of this stuff, my guy. It doesn't matter. This shit flies with his 14-year-old COD player audience and the boomers who are still in that community. No hate to COD players. COD is cool if you play it. You know, you're not a shitty person, but God, is the COD community online right now in a bad place. Also, this is hilarious. DM dropping her video on the allegation she did drop right when DrDisrespect dropped his on the same day and time. Oh, that's funny. That's really funny. He went on to deny that he met up with the individual he messaged at TwitchCon. Quote, let's set the record straight. I never intended to meet this user ever. We never made plans to meet at TwitchCon or anywhere else, and in fact, we never met in person ever. He repeated himself a bit there. Beam's message came amid his first stream since June, which took place on YouTube and was titled The Truth. He was responding to claims that he had been banned from Twitch because he sent explicit messages to a minor via Whispers in 2020. A former Twitch employee told Rolling Stone in June, quote, there was no confusion. Messages sent after this was acknowledged were no less graphic and in sexually explicit nature than before, and I think more than the categorization of leaning too much in the direction of being inappropriate might indicate. So apparently, Rolling Stone, which was one of the outlets to initially report on this, has said there's no confusion and that the messages are sexually graphic and explicit in nature, and that leaning too much in the direction of being inappropriate, as he described, to try and bite the bullet is not a good way to describe it, apparently, because apparently the messages are worse. In a statement originally posted to Twitter after the initial accusations, Beam acknowledged that the messages occurred, but said, I'm not perfect, but I'm not a predator, and that nothing illegal happened. It followed his ousting from Midnight Society, the studio he helped co-found, which happened soon after Connors came forward on Twitter. The statement was subsequently deleted. This was the original statement. Obviously, yeah, here we have it. The only real important part of this statement Were there Twitch whisper messages with an individual minor back in 2017? The answer is yes. Were there real intentions behind these messages? The answer is absolutely not. These were casual, mutual conversations that sometimes leaned too much in the direction of being inappropriate, but nothing more. He literally admitted to Twitch whisper messages with a minor in 2017, but that there were no real intentions behind these messages, even if they got sexual and inappropriate. Literally, the Chris Hansen, like, defense. Not Chris Hansen defense, I guess, but, like, the To Catch a Predator defense. How many times have you heard that from dudes on To Catch a Predator? Like, oh, well, I didn't actually mean to do anything. In fact, I was here to tell this young lady that she shouldn't talk to strangers on the internet, you know? No, you know, it was important that her parents weren't here when I arrived, just to really make sure that the lesson sticks, you know? Like, how many times have you seen that shit? Apparently, responding to the Rolling Stone article, Beam said, they reported on all of this based on leaks from 2 former Twitch employees, one of whom was supposedly on the Trust and Safety team. If these anonymous sources worked in the Trust and Safety team at the time of my Twitch suspension in 2020, then you would hope that they would tell the truth, but apparently that's just too much to ask. If these former Trust and Safety team members, and by the way, I know exactly who they are, actually had first... Is that an attempted intimidation? Actually had first-hand knowledge, then what they conveniently left out is 1, Twitch's Trust and Safety team, the same employees that decided to ban me, internally admitted that the whisper messages were not sexting. Mind you, what he is arguing here is that the messages were not legally sexting. Do you want to know what the legal definition of sexting is? It requires the transfer of sexual photos or nude photos. So he is trying to say that he did nothing wrong because he technically didn't do the legal definition of sexting, which necessitates the sending of nudes. So because he didn't literally receive child porn, he is apparently completely in the clear. Mind you, it doesn't matter what the age of consent is in a given state or region. If this person had sent him nude photos, it would still be fully illegal and would completely be considered child porn. It doesn't matter if this was like some, oh, well, the age of consent in Alabama is 15 type situation. Doesn't matter if the age of consent in Alabama is 15. If there was if there was a nude sent, he would go to prison. And I think that's what should actually be the thing we're thinking about here, that he was messaging someone sexually, that if it went any further, he would have been committing a felony. Undeniably. If someone's a minor, sexual photos of them are just not a thing that is allowed to exist. She was 15. I don't think there's been any age confirmed, as far as I know at least. He went on to say, I'll say it again, neither I nor the Twitch user exchanged any sexually graphic messages or images. Cody Connors and those other anonymous sources are trying to paint a picture that I was exchanging sexually explicit messages with this Twitch user. That never happened. I even used the word inappropriate purposefully, and look at how it was defined by everyone. Everyone champs, huh? Oh, by the way, if you don't know, he refers to his fans as champs, so he's making... this message is specifically for his fans only. It's not a public statement to get, like, to clear his name. It's just to try to appeal to his fans to continue to support him. So he refers to them as champs in his statement about this. Including these defaming articles, we're talking about allegations that Twitch made against me as a half-baked reason for justifying their actions of suspending and shutting down my channel. Mind you, Twitch gave up money by doing this. Allegations that Twitch made without even a legal analysis of whether the whisper messages were illegal. Mind you, Twitch didn't make allegations. They banned him because they did an internal investigation and found that he did stuff they didn't like. They didn't, like, make allegations against him. I love how his statements are just so disconnected from reality. He doesn't even understand that, like, arguably Twitch could sue him for falsely claiming that they're making false allegations against him. I actually think Twitch could unironically sue him, funnily enough. Ultimately, Beam did not apologize, mocking the suggestion during the stream of releasing the messages he sent to the public, saying, What are we, in second grade? IGN has reached out to Twitch for comment. Beam's YouTube channel remains demonetized, but he says he plans to reapply on September 25th. And I'm sure YouTube will give him monetization back immediately. There are countless pedophile content creators that are known pedophiles that YouTube hosts, so wouldn't surprise me. Pretty sure EDP445 has made a comeback as well on YouTube. And YouTube knows, and they don't care. Yeah, I'm sure he wishes he was in 2nd grade. God damn, dude. This guy is such a, like, massive piece of shit. And what I love about him as well is he's never made an attempt to hide it. When your entire brand is being a douchebag like this, I feel that you kind of build up this audience of people who you can literally never be beholden to for bad actions. When you're like DrDisrespect, and one of the most famous things you're known for is cheating on your wife, and you're still a massive creator, how can being exposed for sexually messaging a minor destroy you when your fans follow you because your entire brand is being a bad person? And that is the case, by the way. Like, in every way, his brand is being a bad person, from the cheating on his wife to just generally being an asshole. Like, Doc is known for just being very cynical and douchey about everything, especially if it's like a popular trend or a new game that comes out. He'll just be grinding like the 5 billionth game of COD of the day, and people will be like, why don't you try this new game that just came out? It seems cool. And they'll go on a long whiny rant about how it's bad and like shit talk it. But his fans love that stuff, right? He is a hater, and the types of people that are professional haters love people like this guy. They are drawn to his negativity and toxicity. So of course, much like Trump, you know, being sort of like a mascot for, you know, shitty people, DrDisrespect is sort of like an internet version of that in a lot of ways. So it doesn't surprise me that his return stream, after getting exposed for sexually messaging a minor, has been record-breaking. I believe currently the VOD for his live stream return on YouTube is currently sitting at 3 million views in only a few days, and he had over 200,000 live viewers on his return stream. Now, granted, a fair few of those could have been hate watchers, but based on his engagement and the days that have followed, it seems like he's more popular now than he was before he got outed. I really feel that, like, the internet conservative scene, it's getting downright dangerous. Look at folks like Donald Trump, Andrew Tate, you know, hell, just DrDisrespect, who we're talking about. Conservative figures with a large conservative audience and a brand built on being an asshole. They get exposed for doing fucked up shit with kids, and their fans don't care. They built an audience that doesn't care if their favorite YouTuber is a pedo. It doesn't affect whether or not they'll continue to financially and view-wise support them. And rhetorically support them. Hell, if you talk about this on Twitter, you better believe DrDisrespect fans are going to come and try to argue with you. Anyway, this whole situation has just been depressing, but really a great showcase of the lack of ability for the internet to actually police itself. I think this is a really great example of why this idea that, like, platforms should be far more lenient with their TOS and their policy isn't really a good way to go about things. Because look at people like Onision, Illuminati, and now DrDisrespect. If a content creator goes about things the right way, they can build an audience, like, fuck with children, you know what I mean, get exposed for it, and then continue to exist online with a platform and full ability to potentially harm children in the future, because there is no community policing. There's no way to make their fans see that this guy's a piece of shit and not support him and not give him the platform that he would need if he wants to do this kind of thing again. Self-policing doesn't always work online. At some point, we do need platforms to step in and say, no, even off-platform, if this is the kind of person you are, we have to step in. We can't enable a megalomaniac to, like, do awful things to people and victimize people. This can't... Eventually, YouTube has to step in. I feel like this whole situation is really one of the best arguments for why total free speech absolutism online with no TOS, no rules, no bans or anything is a bad idea. Because eventually, someone big, famous, popular, and beloved with a huge platform is going to do something heinous, and they're going to be too powerful to stop. Look at Mr. Beast. He may have been exposed for some awful things. Look at his social blade. There's been like nothing, barely in effect. The news can't reach that audience. There is no community policing that can be done to stop Mr. Beast from continuing to abuse more employees in the future, or allow, or faking more videos, scamming people, supposedly, like the shit that Mr. Beast has been exposed for. Nothing can stop him from doing these things anymore, any more of these things, besides the platforms stepping up. Anyway, I guess that's all I have to say about all this. Maybe it gave you some food for thought. Maybe you learned something from it. If you did, and you enjoyed it, consider dropping a like. It really helps a ton. No matter when, where, or what you're watching from me, every thumbs up basically twists YouTube's arm into supporting my content and pushing it in the algorithm. So if you haven't already, please consider dropping a like. Really means a ton. It's totally free. Thank you, thank you. And if you haven't already as well and want to see more from me, make sure to subscribe and ring the bell icon and comment down below to help the channel too. Follow my social medias, link in the description, especially joining my fan Discord. It is the main hub of my community, totally free to join, and I also host game events, call-in streams, and watch parties there to hang out with you guys, and I announce all my new uploads and streams every time, so no matter what, even if YouTube's buggy, you won't miss anything if you're in my Discord. And of course, if you want to support me directly financially, help me keep a roof above my head, consider donating, subscribing, or gifting a sub on my website, xanderhall.com/live, or support me through YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, StreamElements, or Patreon, or buy merch at the Streamlabs link down below. But regardless of how you support me, thank you so much for watching, and as always, have a good one.